Welcome to another OTG video. I'm Chris, your narrator for today. This is U.S. Navy Lieutenant Tracy Dixon of the 133rd Joint Test Squadron. We will be trying out the new USS Enterprise CVN-80 Fleet Mod by Louis Devs. The Enterprise is a Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier. It's the third ship in the class and is currently under construction in real life. The keel was laid down on April 5th, 2022, expected to be launched in November 2025, and is scheduled to be commissioned in 2029. So we actually got a CVN-80 mod before it is ready in the real world, and before GTA 6. The first nuclear aircraft carrier commissioned in 1961 was also named the USS Enterprise, CVN-65, and redesignated CVAN-65 during the Vietnam War. The letter A indicated it as an attack carrier. This was a short-lived practice, as were the CVS moniker for anti-submarine carriers. Both functions were incorporated under the same hull in retrofits, back to the CV or CVN designations in the mid-70s. CVN-65 was decommissioned on February 3, 2017. The current Enterprise under construction will be the 9th vessel in the history of the U.S. Navy to carry that name. The Gerald R. Ford class is replacing the Nimitz-class nuclear carriers. As of this production, the USS Nimitz CVN-68, the first ship in its class, has just left Naval Air Station North Island in San Diego, California, on its last deployment this week on March 26, 2025, nearly 50 years after being commissioned in 1975. Okay, we're in the marshalling stack above the Enterprise, waiting to be vectored down to trap aboard the carrier. Last week's USS Stennis video explains what a marshalling stack is. We are also operating in Warning Area 294, basically defined as a swath of airspace that may be dangerous to non-participating aircraft. The designated areas usually indicate there may be military operations going on. Civilian aircraft should always check the notice to airmen before entering a warning area. We're cleared by the Enterprise's air traffic control for a Case 1 recovery. We're coming in on the right side of the ship to perform a carrier break before trapping. About 800 feet above the ship before the break. We got good visibility, so we're going to be coming in a little hot. And there's the break. Tracy pulling a little G's to make it look good. As stated before, everything is pulled off by dead reckoning. This is not DCS or Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's our marker ship intentionally placed to aid us when to turn base in the correct position to find it. Three-quarter mile, call the ball. Paddles has us for the rest of the flight. Okay, we got a good trap, no clashing between mods, and we now have another carrier to roleplay. Now to test taxiing for a clash, and use the waste catapult track. Turning base for another trap with some GTA flight school info. Always come out of base to the right side of the carrier at an angle to the left. And not directly behind the ship. You want to line up with the angled runway on the carrier. Use a slower mod to perform the landing. We don't have arrestor cables in GTA 5. Note the flight controls as Tracy makes her adjustments lining up with the runway. At this point, up, down, and rudders should be your primary controls. Small aileron adjustments, or you may get a wave off for drifting too far off the center line. Final break and trap. After that, we're going to check out the other ships in the formation. An unexpected visitor, a US Navy FJ-3 Fury, a carrier-based version of the F-86 Sabre, is coming in for a trap. A 1950s design, it is grossly out of place for today's Navy. Only in computer simulations will you witness something like this. And there you have it, old meets new. Now we're going to use this SH-60B Seahawk helicopter to look at the rest of the ships in the mod and try to land on them. We're going to try the helipad. The antennas mounted on the stern may be too tall and in our way. We got our answer to that question, a no-go. Lucky for us, Skyline's Navy Fleet mod has the Arleigh Burke destroyers we can use for landing on. And we have the attack submarine. Well, doing submarine stuff. And this is a littoral combat ship. LCS for short, gonna see if we can land on it. Another Arleigh Burke. We already know what's up with this one. The cool thing with this mod, the other PEDs don't wig out or freeze when standing on a ship mod. A common issue. This is great. Most of the time, your companion PEDs won't work. Tracy is heading back to the airport. The Enterprise is leaving San Andreas waters for their Westpac deployment after performing workups by the island. Carrier strike groups usually use Warning Area 294 for training and port calls to San Andreas while on the way to their deployments. Navy and Marine pilots from the 133rd will use the opportunity to trap aboard them to maintain proficiency while being assigned to a land squadron. Tracy is flying this FJ back to the mainland. She ferried the Hornet. It's going to stay with the carrier.